Good evening, everyone. It's that time. It's that time, isn't it? Hopefully you can hear me all loud and clear. There we go. There we go. Welcome along to my live YouTube stream. I'm Danny C. Let's get down to business, shall we? First of all, how is everyone? Hope you're all good. Hope all is well. So let's get straight to it then. So for today's menu, I'm going to be providing you my perspective of what is round 4 of the Gran Turismo World Series Manufacturers Cup at Spa-Francorchamps, and it's one of the chapters that I loved about on the Formula 1 calendar, of course. So let's get straight to it then. So we're going to be entering the 6 o'clock slot. So yeah, what's going to be happening for the race itself is that there's going to be 4 minutes of qualification, which you only get that one shot in qualifying. So one lap is all it takes to get the lap together. With the tire rated set to ×3, whereas the fuel in the other end is set to ×2. And then you got the brake balance, which is the only thing you can change. You do need to pit at some stage of the motor race, so it could well rain in the middle of the race for sure. So we will find out when we get into the groove with how the motor race is panning out. So there's 20 laps of racing with a rolling start. So it could rain in the middle of the race, as I was saying. So more on that. Obviously, the fuel should not be an issue also, but we will see how that pans out as we go along. But other than that, I think we're in for another challenging race, whatever the weather. So let's get into the track and get some laps on the board. And the times have tumbled down a lot, and ever since I last had a crack at it. So obviously that I can get it into the 17s, but it just didn't have much chance, to try and improve my quality. But other than that, that's about. I've got a task in hand to be sure that I just be on it. You know what I mean? So I've no idea what to expect about who I'm going to be racing with. So we will find out very shortly. Another thing to bear in mind as well is the wind speed. And a bit way wide there. So just get another lap as well. Then even if I quick the next lap, then obviously what that does also is that the wind speed and the change of direction will change just a little bit. Gonna get penalised for literally putting the foot to the floor on the AstroTurf, and that's what I get. And there's no stress. There's a bit of time left. Obviously, curious to know, see how the qualifying's going on, unless anybody wishes to talk about it, which I have no issue with that, regardless. Knowing so well, how the field is going to pan out. So we'll have another crack once more, mind you. If I come out of this, and then what that does also is that the lobby settings is slightly different in terms of wind speed and a change of direction and so on. You will see. So the wind speed was 3.1 miles on the northeast, and then low my ghost, and it's gone to 2.3 miles in the same direction. So it's crazy to see what the PD can throw at you. Even more so with the rain getting a little closer also. Slipped on the grass. Whoopsie daisies. So I'll go for one more, perhaps. flat out once more whilst going off the track, even with some dirty tyres, which resulted me in a half-second penalty, but there's no stress also. So I'm just going to park it here, and what I'll do is I'll go for a quick toilet break, and I'll be back very shortly, right before the clock hits 0. So I'll be back in a bit. And I'm back. Look how close the rain is getting. So if it is going to be the case, then we've got a cracking motor race on our hands for sure. So it's just a case of how hard is the rain going to hit, if you know what I mean. So looking at it, it's a class 3, which is like a royal blue colour. Took a sip of that before we get put into a lobby. So I have no idea who I'm going to be up against. And for those who are taking part of this round of the Gran Turismo World Series Manufacturers Cup race, best of luck. And we shall get down to business and do the talking on the track. And in 10 seconds time, we're about to begin the 4th round of the campaign in the GT World Series Online Qualifiers Manufacturers Cup. Let's go! There we go. We've got some company. And there's ORT Kings who I remember racing with in a league race quite some time ago. So let's go and say hello to these few. How many points have I got for grabs? 317 for the race win. So anywhere in the top 8, you get at least 224. So obviously, And Super GG is not streaming from his perspective at the moment. Right. We've got a job on our hands. And it turns out I'm the only person... Oh, no. There's 3 people, including myself, in the Porsche 911. So I'll be giving myself a minute or something, and let the track, let enough people go up front and do their thing, because track to position is key for sure. So it's wiser for some, to not stream it from their perspective in case they don't want any spoilers from some Formula 1 fans that are currently watching qualifying that is taking place. So we'll just give it to another 20 seconds or something. Interestingly, there's a few of us, there's 3 of us in the pits now. I'm making my way out. Get the tyres and brakes warmed up nicely to do the one and only lap of this qualifying. No mistakes. Give it all I got and see where you end up. In my last qualifying session at Barcelona, we're literally half a second between the pole sitter and myself, where I qualified 11th. So we're just approaching the fast left-hander on the run up to the bus stop chicane to begin the one-shot qualifying. And it's a lap where you can win races or lose races. Let's go. Couldn't quite get it into the apex, but I carried some speed. The wind speed's 3.1 towards the north. So it's going to be affecting everybody that's on this piece of track. You're going down the Kemmel Straight. kept it on the track also. Felt a bit slow down at P1. So we see some quality times coming through as well. The Asian pleb is on pole momentarily, but it could well change in the next minute and a bit. Got a P7 momentarily. Be 2.6, but just had a quick peep on the telly. Yes, so that's P9. That's probably the best I could do, although maybe a couple of tenths in me. But that's the best I could do in a Porsche. Okay, so let's look at the weather radar on the current time. So it's not going to be hitting the track as it looks, but it is getting a little closer to the track map. So it doesn't look like it's going to rain, according to the weather radar. So, in other words, have a good race, good luck. And good luck to Christias, Dustin, ORT Kings, who I know as well, and Super GT, Mr. Steve Brown himself. Mixtia says no rain. Anyway, let's play the music. Let's get down to business and do the talking on the track. Good luck and have fun. So we have the Asian pleb on pole, along with Christias in second, Dustin in third, ORT Kings in fourth, Michael Knight, the Fernando Alonso fan back in his Renault days. And there's myself as number 3. And there is Super GT with the number 1 on the side of the car. And there's Mixed here, who I've raced with in a few Manufacturers' Cup races. Oops. Let's go. We're just coming around the final corner. Now! Bit of bump drafting going off. I can see an overtake happening further up. That was a push to pass on that one, my brother. You're gonna have to give that one back also. That's another push to pass on that one, my brother. No need for that. There's been some desperate people that are trying to make moves on the first lap. Right, within striking distance of the Beetle, but that Beetle is ridiculously quick off the acceleration. You would not think that whilst driving a high-performance car along with the likes of the Porsche, Ferrari, etc. It's just mental, that is. But I'm still within slip, so... Oh! Forced him into a mistake, like. Yeah, that is another push to pass on the Nismo driver. And I'm right within this slipstream as well, and Dusty's up into P2. Ferrari getting a bit shaky over the over Rouge, then up on top with Radion. Right within striking distance also. And that is a Danny C said around the outside. A bit of scrapping going off between the Spaniard and the Bahrain driver. So I've made up to 2 places from P9. So I'll just do the best I can in order to try and turn things around for the second half of the online qualifiers. So there's an interesting battle going off in the battle for P4. Into the 219s now. So I'm just slowly chipping away to try and catch the pack. So I'm 10 seconds behind the leader going into the end of lap 6, so it's quite a mountain to climb at the moment, but I'm just continuing to do my own thing. I'm not fussed where I'll end up also. All the thing I did was make most of somebody's error, and also pass somebody else on the end of the Camel Straight. And still, the rain is nowhere near the track. So I reckon get another couple of laps out. See as though it's going to be a dry race, as it turns out to be. You can see a bit of fighting going off between P5 and P4. Kings is coming in to do the undercut on one of his opponents, and so is the other person behind me. Some would expect it to change the dynamic of the motor race with a bit of rain in the middle, but it's not proving to be the case. So therefore, that we're going to be seeing some people coming in for some new tyres, even though it's a mandatory pit stop, which you're going to have to pit in anyway at some stage of the motor race. Just need to bear in mind with the fuel as well. So the new tyres are on. I think Ferrari's coming back at me. Who's going to be last on the brakes? Got the inside line covered to fend off the hard-charging Spaniard in the Ferrari. My fuel's okay. But the Spaniards not giving up this fight. I can hear the noisy V8 engine. So here we are for take two. Flat out through Eau Rouge, then on top of Radion. The Ferrari driver is still on me. And who's going to be last at the brakes once more? Nothing between us. And Danny C still holds on. somehow kept it together. That was fun, clean, respectful racing between the pair of us here. Got the traction now to these corners. Try and break the toe as soon as I possibly could. And I don't think the Ferrari driver is close enough for her to try and catch me. But he's sticking within my slip though, to try and gain a few tenths out of it. And it looks like Super GT's staying out for as long as he could on the one mediums. And he's staying out even longer. Not the best of X's also, but again, trying to break the toe. Well, the Spaniard is literally harassing me. And we break the toe once more. And a great battle between Super GT and the Spaniard further up front. And Super GT is yet to pit. Trying to break the toe once more. Bit of bump drafting going off between Steve and the Spaniard. And Super GT's been overtaken. So I'm closing up to Super GT's is yet to pit still. And he's staying out for an overlap. A bit of wheel spin out to the bus stop chicane. Don't want to be doing that too often. So we're about to see Danny C versus Super GT on track, fighting for position. Through Eau Rouge, then up atop of Camel Straight. Might just have enough of a gap to try and go for the overtake. But Super GT one of the most familiar races in the gaming world, as well as the racing industry side of things. Patience, patience. Fought twice on that one. Now's my chance. Might go for an overtake. I'll give you a nudge if you want, buddy. Shouldn't have braked a little touch there, but... And that is a Danny C send on Super GT. One for my YouTube shorts. It's Danny C time, baby. Well, that was fun. That's one of the highlights of the races for sure. Having gone wheel to wheel with Super GT was he's out managing those tyres, as they call him, the tyre whisperer for sure. And in other words, I've got the Spaniard harassing me still, and he's managed to overtake Super GT also. Got a bit wide there. And the Spaniard looks like he seemed to have made a mistake, or even going into a scrappy do with the other driver. So we're just a few laps left. I'm good on fuel. I can push now even further. 2 laps to go. We're nearly there now. We're nearly there. So we're on the last lap now, and I'll give it my all to try and hold on to that P7. With the Arabic driver literally on my ass. As he's in the battle for the for 7th place, which I am defending all I can to try and accomplish. Trying to break the toe. Is he gonna... Who's gonna be last at the brakes? It's okay. Anywhere in the top 8, job's a fish. Oh, bollocks! The Spaniard's gonna come back at me. Oh, you got a half-second penalty, and oh, that's a shame, buddy. Oh, that's a shame. It's gonna be one of them things, innit, where it was just not really much, and then it was just like holding it all in, just enough space, and then Obviously, there was just not really much between the pair of us going on to the fast left-hander, but it was good racing regardless. Regardless. And of course, I have beaten Super GT. Get in there, Danny! I know it's not a win, but obviously he stayed out a lot longer, like literally did the whole race distance and awarded himself a 2-minute penalty for failing to comply with the rules and regulations of to make a 1 mandatory pit stop. Bloody hell, that was it was fun regardless, but we made it to the end. Let's grab the replay and congratulate these who finished well. So I got 224 at least. No problem. No problem. I feel the same, mate. I feel the same, mate. Literally, the Super is just a bit of a. It's like a rocket on a straight line, as it turns out. So let's have a look at the replay, shall we? And before I do that, so just have a quick nosy. Okay, so let's have a look at the replay. So here we are, the race review of the 6 o'clock slot of the 4th round of the GT World Series Manufacturers Cup online qualifiers, and it was just a rolling start just out of the bus stop chicane. I was able to get a good enough exit to be sure that I just get into the river and so and so. See, a little bit of a pushing to pass thing going off there in some ways. Excuse me. Just a slight little nudge. Only by the slightest of contacts, and then yeah, that was pretty desperate, and obviously, and then I thought I'll just send one in if I can. Left the Italian just enough space, as you do. Whereas we go further into the first lap of the race, the Beetle fought twice. As the Beetle fought, there was a chance of an overtake. Yeah, that's a push to pass, my brother. That's a push to pass on that one. No need for that. You had no reason to push to pass like that. And for once, this game was being fair, as they did not to give him a time penalty for causing a collision. You know, for stuff like that, but you just it's just not fair on some. And then we go further into the race also, and I think it's this lap where the Beetle literally lost it or something. And somehow I had to lift just to avoid the contact with the Beetle, as the Beetle had dirty tyres, and then there was a bit of a pushing going off. Not from the Lamborghini, but for the Bahrain driver, which obviously that's a no-no. And just no need for that also. and there's further more contact with the Italian going for it, and just pushing him wide, and then that's just that stuff like that you don't want to see, because it's just like if you feel that you've accidentally hit someone, you should simply, when you can, just pull over to one side and give the place back to the person you made contact with, and that's what it should have been doing. But anyway, it was a no-no on the Italian in the Nismo. So fast forward further. Looking to get a good exit, stay within the slip of the Spaniard. And then I am within striking distance, looking to make the move. Who's going to be last on the brakes? And it's Danny C sending it around the outside. Even we're still staying on the track somehow. And did he hit the bollard? Did the Spaniard hit the bollard? Yeah, he did hit the bollard, and that of course compromised not just him but the other person who were the innocent party, and that of course gave the opportunity to the Bahrain driver, Shadek. Shadek saw the opportunity and took it, and made most of the mistake and the innocent party from the other person. Just like to see how that pass has been done. Obviously, he was just over that white line, surely, after going over the red and white curbs, just like that. So that's definitely a half-second penalty on that one for sure. And you will see in a moment the penalty system flashing up on the screen. Which in this situation, he didn't get a penalty, because when he did also, thought he lifted for a moment. No. But the thing is that the settings were set to weak, and the Spaniard literally almost run into the back of me, and still like getting his elbows out, showcasing to me that he's the boss of the lot, and yeah. Oh, there's a bit of a dive on. Yeah, there was. Eagle did ready to give way after a slight as a contacts. Not a lot happening, for towards the end of the first part of the race. So, and there's ORT Kings Jade, who's obviously pitted for new tyres, along with Mr. Clark, and the Spaniard Adrian, obviously having to pit for new tyres in the slowest way possible. So you had 4 drivers pitting for new tyres, obviously topping it up with some fuel. So at this point there was the Asian pleb, Dustin, Mr. Stadler, Skeller, Mikey Knight, myself, Shadek, Pierre Racer, all pitted at the end of lap 10. Now what I'm intrigued to see is that, so obviously I came out of the bit, it's 1 lap later than the Spaniard, and then you also had the Bahrain driver, Sadek, obviously pitted the same time as I am. So we're going to take one, and who's going to be last on the brakes? I wouldn't know whether the last of the brakes to fend off the hard-charging Spaniard, who is on 1 lap over all the tyres than the pair of us, in the battle for what is a net P7. So the Bahrain driver at the moment, the Shadek, he lost it, kept it out of the wall somehow, and only lost a second on that one, roughly. And then you see Jade obviously looking to make a move, and I took the inside line to go defend it. Look at this, flames out of the Porsche, spitting out the exhaust pipes. You can see the sparks flying from the Porsche as well. I know who's going to be last at the brakes. But take 2, down at the Chemo straight. And I was able just to keep it on the apex. And I thought for a second, oh, I saw him coming, and then I'm pretty sure he hit the the bollards as well. Before I saw the gap, and then obviously go a little forward frame by frame, where if he hit the bollard, he almost took me out somehow. Only just hit, avoiding the bollard. Go over to real time. You see, this is about as close as you get to literally throwing yourself off from that bollard. And another one frame, even closer. And that is about as close as you get to wiping yourself out of the bollard, out of the track with that bollard. Having left him just enough space. It doesn't get any closer than that, does it? So respect to the Spaniard for some clean racing and showing the respect at the same time. So we're getting to, obviously then became a little bit timid in the world of my own for a couple of laps. But what I wanted to see is the battle between myself and Super GT. Good evening, Dustin. Welcome along, buddy. No, he did not stop at all. I mean, he'd been awarded a 2 minute penalty for failing to comply with the mandatory pit stop rules, and so he did a no stop the entire race. And the rules say that you're meant to pit at least once, regardless what happens. But as it turns out, it's not been a wet race as it's been drier the whole session. So, and what I was able to do was just allow all the time and patience I need, just to sit back and be sure that I picked my moments when it mattered. And obviously, you see, there's a few people that are willing to make a move also. So that's what probably cost you a possible podium position. So it's very unfortunate to see what happened, but at least you got yourself some points. I thought I was going to send it, but now I thought wise to it. Anyhow, I left him just enough space as he had the inside, and so what I had to do is to be sure that I just keep my car planted to the ground, get a good exit also, and then when I can feel that slipstream effect coming, gave it a little bump draft also, and had to lift out a touch. I didn't want to brake it too hard, but anyhow, and what you're about to see is a Danny C send on the inside of Super GT. Let's get down to business and do the talking on the track. Well, finally, a top 5 finish after I got taken out in so many races before. Even lost a DR after top 8 in dailies because everyone was smurfing at the moment. Yeah, no problem, Dustin. So you see the state of the tyres between Super GTs and mine. Look at this state of them, having going the entire race in them set of tyres. Good evening, Indian Stig. Welcome along, my friend. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope all is well from your end too. And for those who don't know Indian Stig, he has a channel for those who like to go and check him out. He does open lobbies as well as some GT World Series manufacturers and Nations Cup practice lobbies, as well as participate in them himself. And he does them daily races where he publishes the videos of his races and so on. So Indian Stig's your brother to go and check out on YouTube. He is not far off the 800 subscriber mark. Yes, very much appreciated, Tula, my brother. Very much appreciated, and anytime. This is thing, Dustin. I'm thinking the same. Why would he even go that long with me? Because when you look at moments when he produced some miracles before, like the one time where he was able to go one lap longer than any other driver on the field. Yeah, so one lap longer than any other person on the field, just to hope and pray that Ray was going to come at the Nürburgring, and as it turned out, it paid off. So that's what led him to a podium finish where he finished P2 on that occasion. So he was hoping for something similar like that at Spa, but for this race, it's not proving to be the case. As looking on the weather radar, right before the session started, it was going to be a dry race throughout with the rain, literally just avoiding that racetrack and all. So, but That's what it showed me also, Justin. Like, no rain hitting the track. So, obviously, I stuck to my plan. And then, you see the state of the tyres of Super GTs. And then, he just thought, you know, it's treat it as a test session or something. He'll probably go again later on this evening. And then see what he can do from there. Maybe a different lobby where it might include some rain. Who knows? But, so yeah, it's, and the rest of the time, I will just minding my own business to be sure that not only that, I was holding on to P7 for as long as I could, and then Shadek literally just setting some blistering pace, even though that he made a move on the Spaniard for P8, and the next target he had was on me. So the gap was roughly around over a second until we got to within a second at the penultimate lap, of course. And I was doing all I can to hold on to that P7. Oh, and you see, I was trying to break the toe. And that straight line speed limit on that Nissan is just ridiculous. Even more ridiculous on the straight line also. Just at topping at 161 mile an hour. And I was going just a little bit slow on the straight as I was sitting dog. But then I just had to concede and try to stay within Sadek best I could. And then came the Spaniard, who stayed within the pair of us also. He's not giving this one up until the very last corner of the race, until the checkered flag. So it came to around this point. I was just I felt a bit of a snap also when kept it within also. Yeah, definitely just they were too quick. Ever since the recent update, that they were too quick, and then so I went wide also, and I left the Spaniard just enough space as he looked to make a move around the outside. Now, I'd just like to get anybody's views on this. Yeah, it was. It's one of them things where. So I left it just in the space, and 2x2 sometimes might not work out. I was flat out until I had to lift off just a touch, try and get in the apex. It was a play it in real time. And we're just literally like wheel to wheel. Maybe get the Meteor car as the opponents. Lap 11, I think it went almost wide through there with Super GT and Stadler. So just looking at my angle, left it just enough space. Although you can get on the grass just a touch and go frame by frame. None of us want to give up that position, the final position for the increase in DR, which I threw my send onto the curb and then onto the grass, and I had to lift out and slow down best I could, and then and it was just a little tap also at that speed, which left the Spaniard way wide. Which I did right away, just lift off just a touch, just to give him the place back also. Which I did right to it, but then unfortunately that if you play it in real time, it didn't even lift, it just went way wide. and then of course got a half-second penalty for it, which I had to be sure that just hold back a touch, and then yeah. So even if I could have got on to lift off just a little touch, then obviously I want to claim that that P8 also, but so it was good racing regardless of it until that moment where it was just one of those things about where I felt like that one bit of it, it's partly about my fault, but then at the same time that you just look at it as a racing incident. So but if the person is watching on my screen, and I just put my hand up and then say that I'm not going to do the next, I'm not going to do the 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock slots because I'll be doing whatever I got to do, and therefore that you'll get your chance to go again if you wish to go and get some more points at the board. But it was good fun regardless. It's but that was the race at Spa-Francorchamps, and whilst I am on there, I just want to quickly get a good photo with the with Super GT, as I thought, why not? And I'm assuming that because let's have a look and see lap 11. Okay, lap 11. So looking at lap 11 somewhere. So it'll be further up then, where you have Super GT just staying on with pretty worn tyres, and then Dustin just came out of the pits also, along with Stalder. Christian's looked to be making a move on Dustin, and then thought twice of that. And then Dustin looks to try and get a good run also. Had a little look on Super GT. Obviously, just a little nudge or so, but then the pair of you left each other some racing room, and they just... No problem, Stig. Thank you very much for joining, and have a great evening to you as well. And look after yourself, and all the best as well. So you have Dustin and Stalder going 3 wide apart, literally. And then Super GG's just like, you two go and do your own race. I don't want to fight yours. You see the throttle input, just not really locked, and it shifted a little early for good measure. So, like you say, Dustin, a possible podium position was on the cards if it hadn't been for Super GT just going long a bit into the race, and then of course awarded himself a 2-minute penalty for not doing the only mandatory pit stop for this Manufacturers' Cup race. So whilst I am just want to get a good pick with the man himself after giving him a little bump draft. One for the thumbnail, of course. There we go. There we have it. One for the memory books, passing the Super GT on the track. No problem, Dustin, and thank you very much for tuning in, and well done on the results as well. And have a great evening. Look after yourself, and I'll catch you next time. And as always, stay safe. So obviously, I've come out of this, and having got that photo with Mr. Brown himself. I just need to open these 2 tickets also. One I did for the other day, and then, yeah. Just like note 5k credits, even when you have millions and millions of credits in the bank. And I also got suspension kit for a fully customizable suspension on the 1967 Chevy Nova. So, let's go into the escapes movies and draw close to the stream. And I just want to say thank you very much to those of you who are tuned in to say hello whilst on the go. And I hope you all enjoying the race. And well done to those who took part wherever you finish. And for those who didn't finish well, then obviously there's always another opportunity for sure. But and of course, I have whooped Super GT fair and square. Whooped him, although he may have not done a pit stop, but I suffered to him for trying. But rules as rules, as you just got to do that only one round of pit stop, and jobs are good. And so obviously that I'm sure that a lot will happen. A lot will happen for sure in the 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock slots. But yeah, so I said to myself before that anywhere in the top 8. Jobs are good, and so we got the top 8. About time I got a bloody good result after 3 tough races to start off with, and then so we're really just getting started, just to up the tempo up, as well as getting some results towards the end of the online qualifiers campaign for the Manufacturers Cup. So yeah, next time I'll be live is on a Tuesday evening around same time as the recent Tuesday that's gone by, around 6:30 p.m.-ish UK time when the lobby opens. Not sure what to run in, so probably MX-5s or something like that, Mazda MX-5s, but we'll see. But anybody liking the content, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't, and yeah. You all have a great evening, a great afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you're up to. And most of all, take care, stay safe. And for myself, Danny C, I'll see you in the next one. And bye-bye.